All right, Matt Durbin here with eXp Realty. Today is April 8th, 2020. We want to take a look at what's going on in the North Hills right now. And we're going to take a look at March 2020 market data. We want to look at specifically, we're going to look at inventory levels right now, because inventory levels are going to tell a story of where we end up whenever the market turns back on. So currently, obviously, we are all on lockdown. We are stuck in our homes. We cannot show property. We cannot go out and purchase property, and that goes for real estate in general, and in addition to that, the general public. Now, you'll see a little bit of inventory coming on the market. You'll see some vacant homes coming on the market, some people that absolutely have to sell. Real estate agents are trying to work around the lockdown and doing the best that we can. But realistically, there's just not a lot happening in the real estate market. There's just not allowed to be at this point in time. So I think the big thing that we want to look at, what's going on in the North Hills. Right now, it's really difficult to just make a determination of which way the market's heading because we have a lot of uncertainty going on. However, the big thing that we're looking at right now is where are inventory levels, and that's going to, kind of lead us to what is happening with inventory levels in April, and then what's going to happen when they turn the switch. So we're all kind of running based on a end of April will be when the lockdown is lifted and we're able to go back into the market and start looking at homes and purchasing homes and putting homes on the market and trying to work again. Obviously, we don't know, but that's all we have to go by right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point in time. So what we're going to do is run through some school districts, and we're going to look at the inventory levels. And then we're going to do a little bit of a comparison and then just go through kind of a few things that we need to look out for, what we're going to watch over the next month, just to see which way things are heading. And that way you can make an educated decision as to whether or not you're going to buy or sell in the market this spring/summer. So first thing we're going to look at here is this is North Allegheny School District, and these are the inventory levels. As you can see, we're down to 1.6 months worth of housing supply in North Allegheny School District. That's down, as you can see, from 2.5. Now, this is still March data, and with no new inventory coming on the market in April, I think you'll see those inventory levels continue to go down. However, there won't be any purchases happening. So you'll see a kind of a leveling, and you might see a big spike in inventory levels. But right now, there's still not a lot on the market. So if you're a seller and I see 1.6 months of inventory with 6 to 7 being a normal market, I'm going to consider listing my home and being one of the first ones to hit the market whenever everything changes. I would be in total preparation mode if I needed to sell this summer, and I know I need to sell. North Hills, same thing. North Hills, these are crazy low inventory levels, 0.8 months. That means there's not even a month worth of inventory on the market available for buyers to purchase. If you're in the North Hills market, we just listed a vacant property that was a rehab and had multiple offers without anyone even entering the property sight unseen based on a walkthrough video that the sellers did for us. So that gives you an idea of what the demand is in the North Hills. If you're in the North Hills School District, Ross Township, Westview, and you need to sell this summer, I would consider getting everything ready to go. That's something we can obviously help with. We can help you do a walkthrough video. We can tell you what repair items to work on while you're locked up. We can, help you with staging advice virtually, things like that. So there are ways to get prepared to be ready to go, that when the market turns back on, that you're gonna have an advantage. So North Hills, really low inventory levels. Same with Shaler, 1.2 months worth of inventory. Hampton, 2.6 months worth of inventory, down from a couple of years ago, 4.2. However, not too crazy of a drop kind of historically here, as you can see in the winter months leading up to summer. Fox Chapel, 3.9 months. Obviously it's a little bit of a higher price point there. So I don't think, I think it's a little bit more of a normal market there. Things tend to sit a little bit longer. Let's take a look at average days on market is up. So that makes sense. Higher price point. Things aren't flying like they are whenever you're sub 300. If you're under 3 right now, your property should be moving if you're priced correctly. Northgate, this is a huge anomaly. I don't see how that is possible, other than only 3 homes went under contract in March is what this data is telling me. So there's not enough data there to kind of tell what's going on. Only 13 homes on the market, only 3 sold in March. We'll take a look at that in April and see what happens there. Avonworth School District, 1.3 months worth of inventory. Pine Richland, 3 months worth of inventory. It's down as a whole. It's trending down. Again, higher price point. Days on market is down. Things are moving, and still a seller's market, and it still will continue to be. And same thing here, just taking a look at Quaker Valley, 3.7 months worth of inventory. Obviously, there's not as many sales there. 22 sales in March, and 81 homes on the market as of the end of March. That's something that we'll keep an eye on. So what we want to look at is a little bit of a comparison here. If I pull the right data up. So we're looking at March 2020 data. Again, it is April 8th. So we want to kind of track when we're doing this and what's going on, because things are going to change, and they're going to change pretty dramatically. So this is just what we just went through. Inventory levels. I'm looking at North Hills. I'm looking at Shaler. I'm looking at North Allegheny School District. I'm looking at Avonworth. If I'm a seller and I need to sell, and I know I need to sell, and I've got no other choice, I'm looking to be ready to go when the market turns back on. I just think that's the way to get a competitive advantage right now. There are buyers in the market. There are buyers that want to buy. And I want to kind of take you through the things that we're looking at right now and what we've got to watch out for and what we'll be monitoring as we kind of move forward here. So what to watch in April. Obviously, we don't know how long we're going to be locked up. So we're basing everything right now on, we did a 2-week shutdown, but it looks like we're going to be ultimately we're going to be stuck with not a lot happening until the end of April. So given that is the case, we know that nothing's going to happen in April, and it's going to have a big effect on inventory levels, and it's going to have a big effect on whether or not buyers are still in the market at that point in time or not. So we'll see inventories go down. Lenders right now, we've been hearing a lot about lenders tightening FHA guidelines. FHA purchases make up about 40 to 50% of the market here. Don't quote me on that. That's just what most people kind of run by, but we see a lot of FHA purchases in our area. And we're told that the credit guidelines on that have been increasing for a lot of lenders based on what the secondary market looks like for that. So I see others that are national lenders that are selling direct, and they're still able to do the lower credit score stuff. But some of the lenders around here who are selling on the secondary market, they're increasing those. And some people that were approved prior to us going into lockdown are unapproved right now, and they're going to need to do some credit repair or some credit restoration or improvement in order to get back up to a place where they're ready to go, or have to look at kind of a different option, different lender option, realistically. We're going to see an increase in unemployment. We've already seen that. It's like crazy what's going on here with the amount of unemployment that we have and self-imposed unemployment. What effect is that going to have on people's credit scores if people start to miss payments and it does hit credit? You're going to see a lot of credit scores dropping. So I would say if you're in that arena where you are having trouble with payments, work with your credit institution, financial institutions, and try to work something out, forbearance, things like that. Be careful of mortgage forbearance. It's not all it's cracked up to be, and make sure you read all of the fine print. We've been hearing a lot about, they'll let you go by 2-3 months without a payment, but they're going to have a big lump sum payment they're going to want at the end of that, or you're going to have to do a loan modification. So if you can make that mortgage payment, I would make it. The forbearance is not all it's cracked up to be as far as the mortgages are concerned. But I've heard a lot of student loans are pausing payments, credit cards, maybe financial institution car payments, things like that. They might give you a couple of month hold and let you get by on that. Do that, work with them instead of letting it affect your credit. That's gonna have an effect on buyer demand, and obviously the more uncertainty we have, newer home buyers, first time home buyers, you'll see them holding off a bit more because uncertainty causes people to pause and not do anything from time to time. So we're going to have to look at kind of how many buyers do fall out of the market right now. I think we will see some buyers that just aren't ready to buy in the current market, and are going to hold off for another year. However, we still have a lot of buyer demand, and we'll still see new buyers that are coming into the market that just absolutely have to buy. And so we still will have buyers in the market, and homes are still going to sell, especially in our area. Now, the market segments that I think we need to really look at and are usually the first ones to go: luxury, higher price points. So luxury market, I would be concerned if I'm trying to list a super high-end property, luxury property. I just don't think the buyers are going to be out there. And if they are out there, they're going to be vultures and they're going to be trying to get a deal. So I think luxury, higher price points, in addition to new construction, I think that depends on the price point. The higher end new construction stuff, I'd be a little bit wary of building a new construction home for $1.5 million right now, and thinking that I'm going to have any equity whenever I close on it, because I think you won't. I think you'll end up being upside down on that. And I'd be really concerned if I was doing that right now. Patio homes are still going to be good to go. People still need to downsize right now. They need main floor level living. And commercial, I think commercial is going to get whacked. And that's something that we're going to continue to take a look at. Commercial, office space, and retail, strip malls. Some of these places, they're all kind of dependent upon smaller private businesses, and that's who's seeing the brunt of this. And some of them are just never going to come back, or they're learning how to work remotely right now through Zoom calls, and they're probably not going to have as much of a use for the office space as they maybe did before. I know our company, we're 100% cloud-based. We have not, other than the fact that we can't do anything here in Pennsylvania, our company's operating full steam ahead because we are cloud-based brokers and everything works remotely. I think you'll see a lot of companies that are, if they don't do that full time, I think you'll see more of that where people are working flex schedules, working from home and things like that. And I think that's going to affect the commercial rental market, office space market for sure. Also, we're going to look at foreclosure short sales. I don't think personally that we're going to see the huge influx of foreclosures like we did back in the day. Some people are predicting that. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you will see more potential for short sales and loan modifications. This time around, I think the lenders are ahead of the game. They're already working out forbearance payments, loan modifications, things like that. And if somebody, unfortunately, if they are unemployed, they do lose their job and they've got to come back into the market, and they can't afford their payments and they need to sell and they don't have any room. Short sale is going to be the option as opposed to foreclosure. I think banks are just way more prepared for it this time around than they were last time. So if anything, I think you might see a spike in short sales. So, and I think the last thing that you're going to look at is financial restrictions, jumbo loans, investor loans, commercial funding, construction loans, bridge loans, lines of credit. I think you're going to see less and less of that. That's what happened last time. I think if you're a portfolio lender, or like a private bank or a smaller community bank, you're going to really tighten restrictions. You're not going to be throwing lines of credit out left and right. You're not going to be giving bridge loans. You're not going to be doing construction loans, because when there's a lot of uncertainty, they're just going to really tighten up what they're looking at, and what they're willing to finance right now. So hopefully that was helpful. We're going to continue to update you as the market continues to change here. So we're looking at March inventory levels a lot right now. However, April is going to be the big determining factor because you're not going to have anything happening. So we're going to be really curious to see what happens once this market turns back on. But if you're considering selling and you're in one of these lower inventory markets, I would be ready to go and get your home ready to go and be one of the first ones to the market and get whatever advantage you can, because there are buyers in the market that want to buy, and there is a lack of inventory, and there's probably going to continue to be, unless we see a huge influx this first month or so. So I would try to beat the rush and beat the competition. So if there's anything that we can do, if you want us to run a market report, if you want to, you want to get advice on kind of what the market looks like in your area, you want to go through your specific situation, whether it's a buy sell scenario, those are harder to do right now. If you want some advice on how you should be approaching the situation, contact us today. We'll be happy to have a call with you, kind of walk through the process, go through what options we have, how we're dealing with that specific scenario right now, and we'll get you a market report on your property so that way you are making an educated decision with how you proceed here moving forward. So if anything we can do, as always, call, text, email. We are here, we are working, and we're available if you need us. Thanks again.